Welcome to the Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy. And this is where characters gather. Today we're talking about the second half of my March 2023 book haul. These are all books I hauled from the Friends of the Library book sale. With the exception of the ebooks and one book I got from Amazon. So let's do the ebooks first. They are all on my Kindle. I will insert the appropriate picture of the book here. First up is Romanov by Nadine Brandes. Admittedly, I don't think this one is Christian fiction. Most of her books are, so it's why my brain lumped it in this video and not the previous one. Be that as it may, this is Nadine's take on the retelling of the Anastasia myth. I am looking forward to it. We will see if I enjoy it. As you know, I didn't really like Wish Trish to begin with. I ended up loving it at the end, so we will see how this one grabs me. The next two books are Irene Hannon books. They are books 2 and 3 in the Triple Threat series. I read book 1, Point of Danger, in February. I really loved it. I got that one from the library. It is unfortunately the only book my library had of the series. So I got the other two on Kindle. And the second book is Labyrinth of Lies. And that follows the Kate, the Riley sister who is a policeman. And Body of Evidence is the third book in the series. And that follows Grace, who is the forensic pathologist of the three sisters. And I am looking forward to these two books immensely. The next two books I purchased are books 1 and 2 in the Defend and Protect series by Lynn Blackburn. I have book 3 as an arc from NetGalley, and I didn't want to read it until I read the first two. So I have those now, so I need to get that done. The first book in the series is Unknown Threat. Book 2 is Malicious Intent. And book 3 is Under Fire. These are romantic suspense, as is the Irene Hannon book. My brain is in the mood for romantic suspense, so I foresee myself getting to these sooner rather than later. I am very much looking forward to them. Hopefully, they live up to my expectations. And that brings us to the physical books. So, it was a good month at the library for picking up books. The selection was wide and varied, and I even have come away with my very first Francine Rivers. It isn't the one everyone talks about, which is Redeeming Love, which is penciled in on my personal 2023 reading challenge. But it's a beloved book, but it doesn't speak to me. It isn't something that it keeps calling my name. However, The Lady Is Mine by Francine Rivers. This one has piqued my interest. It sounds much more lighthearted than Redeeming Love. I'm not in the mood for a dark story, and Redeeming Love, just the blurbs and everything I've heard about that book, it's just a little too dark for my mood right now. I will read you the back of this one. It's very short. She is new to this lawless mining town. He is one of its most prominent citizens. Neither one wants much to do with the other at first. So from what I've seen of reviews, this book is funnier, a little more lighthearted, but still is a Francine Rivers book. I'm here for that. So we will see how it goes. Next find was a Colleen Coble. This is Lone Star Homecoming. And I believe this is book 2 in the series. Book 2 or book 3. And it's Colleen Coble. It's set in Texas. And yes, please. And the back hook line is very intriguing. For the most part, it's the safest place on earth. For Gracie, it's the last place she wants to be. And the one place she must return. This is going to be a contemporary romance, and yeah, I'm here for it. Next find I got at the library is my first Anne Gabhart book. I'm interested. It's in perfect condition as always. And that is The Blessed. I will read you the little blurb on the back. Trapped by obligation, one woman longs for the freedom of true love. It's 1844, and Lacey Bishop's life is a tangled mess. When circumstances move Lacey to a nearby Shaker village, she is not prepared for the new life that awaits her. In the midst of her deep loneliness, Lacey works to fit in with this odd group. But everything shifts when she finds herself drawn to a Shaker man in a village where such relationships are forbidden. Can Lacey ever find true happiness in this mysterious place? I think this is going to be an amazing read. So, we shall see. Next up is an Irene Hannon. It is Pelican Point. This is, I believe, book number 9 in the Hope Harbor series. Yeah, book 9. I have not read the previous 8, so you know I'm not going to read this for a while. But it's here. It's waiting for me. That's the important thing. It's there. Next up is another Irene Hannon. This is book number 1, I believe, in the Guardians of Justice series. This one got a little bit of curled edges, but I don't care. It's Fatal Judgment. And once again, it has a very intriguing sounding back. I believe this is book 1. Let's see if I can find it. It is book 1 of the series, which is always good. Looks like to be a romantic suspense again. So yes, please. This book was in my April pile of possibilities. It is also in my spring into Christian fiction video. It is the only book I bought from Amazon for Christian fiction this month. That is Denise Hunter, A Novel Proposal. And this is very close to being maybe one of the first books I pick up in April. It has my interest. I'm not sure why, but it very much has my interest. So next up would be Lynette Eason, Oath of Honor, Blue Justice. I believe this is the first in the series as well. It is. This is also a romantic suspense. I'll read you the little bit on the back. A murdered partner, a missing brother. Will Isabel's silence protect those she loves or delay justice? Again, I can't think of a reason why this isn't going to just be something I start and ignore everything else to finish, which is perfectly how I like my books. Next up is Deadly Deceit, book 2 in the Harvard Secrets series by Natalie Waters. I know nothing about this author. I know nothing about this book. I know that it is Christian romantic suspense. That's what I know. Welcome back to Walton, Georgia. where everyone knows your name, but no one knows your secret. Independent and tenacious journalist Vivian DeMarco is back in Walton, Georgia for one reason: to do her job and get out. When her boss suddenly dies under suspicious circumstances, Vivian's only hope for finding the truth and the next big story is small-town law enforcement lanky poster boy, Deputy Ryan Frost. But the deeper they dig, the more twisted the truth becomes. False leads, incriminating emails, and someone called the Watcher force Vivian to fight for answers and her life. So if I can get a hold of book 1, either physically or on Kindle, obviously I can find it on Kindle most likely. I can't imagine not liking this. Next 2 I knew to pick up thanks to Amanda over at Book Lover Amanda. Her recent video, which I will link down below, on Try a First Chapter. Neither one was these books, but the author was the same, and that is Elizabeth Goddard. I have books 1 and 2 of the Uncommon Justice series. The first book is Never Let It Go, and the second book is Always Look Twice, and those covers are compelling. So the back of book 1 says, the case may be cold, but things are about to heat up. Forensic genealogist. What an interesting job, by the way. Forensic genealogist. Who knew these things existed? Anyway, forensic genealogist Willow Anderson is following her late grandfather's footsteps in her quest for answers about a baby abducted from a hospital more than 20 years ago. When someone makes an attempt on Willow's life to keep her from discovering the truth, help will come from an unexpected source. Ex-FBI agent and Willow's ex-flame, Austin McCade, readily offers to protect the woman he never should have let get away. Together they will follow where the clues lead them, even if it means Austin must face the past he spent much of his life trying to forget, and put Willow's tender heart at risk. That sounds amazing. And the back of Always Look Twice. Justice lies on the other side of fear. At the advice of her therapist, Harper Reynolds has traded her job as a crime scene photographer for a more peaceful life taking photographs of the natural world. But her hopes for a life surrounded by the serenity of the outdoors are dashed when she inadvertently captures a murder being committed. She flees the scene in fear and loses the camera. Former Green Beret Heath McCade, a reserve deputy in the understaffed county, has been called in to protect Harper, a childhood friend he is surprised to see back in the area. When Harper learns the sheriff's department can't find any evidence of the murder she witnessed, she is determined to do what she can to see justice is done. What neither Harper nor Heath could know is how many explosive secrets from the past will be exposed, or how deeply they will fall for each other. These both sound amazing. They both sound like, pick them up, don't put them down. I'm all about that. Next up is The Art of Deception by Becky Malby. This is the second book in the Secrets from Grandma's Attic. I do not have the first book, and I'm pretty sure it's not on Kindle, but I will have to check. This looks to be a Christian cozy mystery, and you know, I am okay with branching out on my cozy mysteries a little bit. And it's, 272 pages. I can knock that out in an afternoon when it's warm. And the next 2 books are books 1 and 2 in the Secrets of the Blue Hill Library. The first one is Nowhere to Be Found by Emily Thomas. And the second one is Shades of the Past by Emily Thomas. I, once again, know nothing about these books other than they appear to be Christian cozy mysteries. These are set in Pennsylvania. I'll try not to hold that against the author. We lived in Pennsylvania for a while, and it was not the best experience for either one of us. Me in particular, it was not pleasant. And last but not least are my Karen Kingsbury hauls. So thank you to whoever has been offloading their Karen Kingsbury books. I greatly appreciate it. First up, and I think this may be left over from last month. If it is, I apologize for the duplicate. If not, then great. Forgiving Paris by Karen Kingsbury. And it is a Baxter book. So I have to figure out where that fits in the Baxter family order of books. Next up is A Distant Shore. And I know that Jeanette over at Jane's Reads just read this recently, I believe. And I think this is a standalone. I'll read you the back. She never dared to hope. The wall around Eliza's heart had stood firmly in place since her first day at the palace. A barrier made of solid brick and razor wire that no one would ever breach. But today the fortress she built to protect herself was beginning to crumble, one chunk of cement after another, all because of Jack Ryder. He never dreamed he'd feel this way. Jack watched her go. This was the last mission he would do with Eliza Lawrence. If she hated him, if she enjoyed mocking him, then she could work with someone else, and he would do his very best to put her out of his mind forever. If only he could forget the way she had kissed him. Until a miracle brought them together in a fight for their lives. This sounds very interesting. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to love Karen Kingsbury. Next up is 15 Minutes. This, I believe, is a standalone. She's written so many, it's hard to tell at the beginning. But I'm pretty sure this is standalone. Next up is part of the Baxter family. You've seen it in my April Pile of Possibilities video, which I will also link, To the Moon and Back. This is about Oklahoma City. I'm going to read that one this month in April. And the last four for the month are the Blaley Flanagan series. She is, I understand, one of the Baxter children. So the first one is Leaving. The second one is Learning. The third one is Longing. And the last one is Loving. If the covers are anything to go by, this isn't an instant romance, fall in love with, and complete in one book. It's a quartet. I think I'm going to like that very much. Something to look forward to as the month progresses. So that is my Christian fiction haul for March 2023. Thank you for being here. If you've read any of these, please comment down below. Tell me where I should start, what I should skip. If something is, you found something that wasn't enjoyable, let me know. Or if something you really, really loved, I would really like to know that. Please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.